NBA basketball totals for Saturday. This is a segment where we look at totals set by odds makers. We try to beat that line either going over or under the total. Like I always tell you, we're not doing the live segment today. We'll be back on that for Monday. So you guys enjoy the weekend and, of course, Super Bowl Sunday. I'm not going to have anything for Sunday, by the way, just to let you guys know that's going to be a day off for me. And let's go ahead and let's dive into some totals. Again, we have our NCAA segment out there as well. Huge slate of college games, so you definitely want to check that out. And good slate of NBA games as well. So some really good matchups, and we're going to dive into those totals in just 1 second. Don't forget, SBRpicks.com, Sportsbook Review. All the numbers are there. You got to check it out. Also, YouTube channel, Facebook page. I mean, we're really putting some good stuff together here at Sportsbook Review. So you want to check out our channel, share the videos, things like that. And we got a ton of really good handicappers out there. Everything's free, which is great too. So go ahead and, check us out, share some videos, and let's dive into some totals. All right. So again, this is our NBA segment. We'll be doing my NCAA segment as usual. We got 3 plays on the card today. The first one we're going to look at is Atlanta and Orlando. Now, Atlanta, great win the other night versus Houston. Orlando's coming off a back-to-back. And Osmegers have it at 208. The line actually dropped a little bit. I'm going to go under this 208. It seems just about right, but what I like is this to be a little bit more of a defensive battle than for them to get to this number. I mean, right now we've had them match up twice already this season with finals of 131 to 120, absolute track meet, and then a 111 to 92 the last time they met up. And I think we're going to see something more like that last time where they played at Orlando. Where they are again, they're at Atlanta, but they played in Orlando last time, and we saw, a total that just snuck over 200 points, but oddsmakers had that at 207.5. Now, they came out with a pretty high total for this game, but I just don't see them getting there when we look at their stats. Well, first, let's go ahead and let's take a look at, I believe I have that up, that the last time they matched up, that 111 to 92 final in Orlando. Atlanta shot absolutely lights out, 54.3% from the floor and 52.6% from distance. That's ridiculous. I do not see that happening again tonight. Orlando was kind of their normal self. They shot 43%. They shot 32% overall. That's about average from distance. Going a little fast. That's about average for them. It's just there's a lot of information I want to get out there. But the pace was not that fast. Atlanta got up 81 attempts, Orlando 86. And I think we're going to see something more, similar to this sort of an affair. Also, I mean, the under was really on point for each quarter until that fourth quarter where they scored 60 points. I don't see that happening again either. Anomalies like that happen, especially this year where there's been some high scoring games. I don't think they're going to get there though. So I'm going to back under the total here with Atlanta and Orlando. We can dig into their stats just a little bit more before I go ahead and move on to another game. Orlando's averaging just 100 points on the season. They ranked 28th in the NBA in scoring. Atlanta 103.7 points per game. They ranked 20th, but both of them defensively, not bad. I mean, you got right now Orlando, although, their statistics are not that great. They're not the worst in the league. They rank just outside the top half of the league in most defensive statistics. But more importantly for me is they allow just 85.5 attempts per game. That ranks 14th in the NBA. That's what we want to see when we're going under the total. Atlanta, good defensive statistics. Right now they're allowing opponents just 44.8% shooting overall from the floor. That ranks 8th in the NBA. So they're also 8th in points allowed per game. So it's pretty good Atlanta defense. Coach Buds, he's going to do a good job there. And Vogel, he's trying to get it down to Orlando. I don't think they get there. So I'm going to go back under that total. All right, next one up we got is Memphis and Minnesota. Again, I'm going to go under the 203. Now, both these teams are coming off their second leg of a back-to-back, with Memphis taking on OKC last night and Minnesota taking on Detroit. But this is going to be a defensive battle. When we look at these stats here of these two teams, we're talking about two teams that can flat out play some defense. Now, they already met up twice this year, a 116 to 80 final. And then a 93 to 71. So two really low scoring affairs. 198 and 200. Odds makers had it set up. Now this game right here, of course, is set a little bit higher. And that's a little bit surprising to me because of the low scoring affairs we've already seen in their matchups. So now the numbers player in me would want to go over that. But the basketball guy in me says, no, they're not going to get there. Because statistically, Minnesota could be better, but I like the fact they are at home. Tom Thibodeau does a good job on the defensive side, although they're not doing a great job this year. They rank right in the middle of the league in scoring defense. And Memphis across the board is one of the best defenses in the NBA, and they go at a really slow clip. Right now, they're allowing just 78.6 attempts per game. That's second in the NBA. And Minnesota does not go very fast, averaging just over 84 attempts, which ranks them 24th. They're not a particularly good shooting team. They do rank 11th in overall shooting percentage, but they're hitting just over 35% from distance. That ranks them 21st. That's Minnesota. Memphis, not a good shooting team at all, percentage-wise. Right now, they're shooting just 43.2%. That ranks last in the league. And they go, like I said, they go at a really slow clip. Minnesota doesn't allow a lot of pace, allowing just 82.5 attempts per game. I just cannot see them getting there. So although the number seems a little bit off, I just can't pull the trigger on it. So I'm going to go ahead. Basketball side of me wants to go ahead and back the under, and I'm going to do that in this matchup. Okay, and the next one we got as well, and it's going to be an under. We're going 3 unders today. Now that Memphis, Minnesota, I looked at for a while, but I'm going to go ahead and go under with that, as I just mentioned that again. Charlotte and Utah, 197.5. I cannot see them getting there either. Again, we got 2 different conferences here. We got the East meeting the West, but Utah is so good defensively. Let's look at some stats here of these 2 teams. They're both good defensively, actually. Charlotte's an underrated defensive team. Right now, they're allowing just 104.3 points per game. They rank 8th in the NBA in defensive scoring. Utah ranks first, and they rank first across the board in the most important categories: overall shooting percentage, opponent shooting efficiency, opponent effective field goal percentage, opponent 2-point shooting percentage, 3-point shooting percentage. They're not bad. They allow over 35%, but they're still not terrible. Charlotte, good statistics as well. They're allowing opponents just 44.7% overall shooting. That ranks 6th in the NBA. Tempo is going to be slow, with Utah being the slowest tempo team in the NBA, both in attempts and attempts allowed. Then you got Charlotte really not pushing tempo very much, ranking right in the middle of the league in attempts. They do allow a bit of tempo, but Utah does not get up and down. That they don't get out in transition. I mean, we look at their fast break points right now. Utah, they rank second to last at fast break points per game. They don't get out and do that. That's just not their style. They grind you out. They play great defense. And I think that's exactly what we're going to see tonight. And that's it. Those are our 3 NBA totals picks. As for the sides, I'm still looking, so I don't really have anything for you guys. Sorry about that. If anything, I'm I'm still waiting for a number to come out with the Knicks. So as soon as I get that, I'm really very interested in that game to see where that number, considering Cleveland they're playing a little bit better recently, but they haven't been playing a great basketball overall. But that number's still not out, so I'm waiting on that. And I'll have to break these down more personally later. But for today, for you guys right now, is we got the totals. Here we go. Atlanta and Orlando under the 208. Memphis, Minnesota under the 203. And Charlotte and Utah under the 197.5. Look for some good defensive battles here. And I wish you guys luck on your picks today.
Research before you bet. Be sure to check out SPR Picks for the best game predictions, breakdowns, and much, much more.